Hi, welcome to this episode of Down with Daughtry, where we are filming live from the Georgia Southern Golf Course. We are at our seventh annual Grand Slam Casega Golf Tournament. And I am joined, and I have the pleasure, the ultimate pleasure, of being joined by the director of
Prevent Child Abuse Georgia, but
Miss.
soon to be Positive Childhood Alliance Georgia.
Yes, thank you so much, Miss Jennifer Stein. How are you today?
I am doing well. We are having a fabulous time.
Absolutely. I wish we could have what you were in before, but we'll share that for a later day. We'll share that surprise. But this is basically a big moment for PCA of Georgia because you are rebranding. And so can you tell us about the decision to rebrand and what factors led to this change?
Certainly. Well, we're the state chapter of Prevent Child Abuse America, and for decades, one of the struggles that we've had with the name, having abuse in it, many times the public then puts all of the responsibility on the parents. And when it comes to raising children, the parenting journey is extremely hard. And we need everybody to come forward and support families. You know, the African proverb that it takes a village. And so for decades, Prevent Child Abuse America itself has done surveys and has really looked at possibly rebranding themselves. And then one of our partners, Prevent Child Abuse North Carolina, at this time last year, made the decision. They had gone to the Montana Institute, where we're focusing on the power of the positive, the science of the positive. And like any organization, we evolve. And so Prevent Child Abuse North Carolina made the decision to shift to Positive Childhood Alliance North Carolina. And when our team saw that email come over and that they could still be known as PCA North Carolina, we loved what they chose. The word alliance really represents our network of prevention partners, that we still get to keep the PCA acronym that everybody's come to know. But most importantly, it focuses on the new knowledge that we have, that even families and children that have endured difficult times, the science of the positive tells us now that it's those positive childhood experiences alongside those difficult life experiences that buffers the bad.
Yes.
And that we can recover and we can go on to lead a healthy, happy life. So when we saw that come across, we reached out to them. We reached out to Prevent Child Abuse America. And we just started the journey of looking at what it would take.
Well, I just love that.
Thank
I love
you.
everything about the rebranding and the new name and how the change came about because focusing on negative is what we're kind of programmed to do. So
Yes.
to switch the perspective on the positive aspects is just very refreshing and to get back to the village.
Yes.
That village mentality.
Absolutely.
I love it. So Jennifer, can you tell us how long did the rebranding process take and if there were any challenges that you faced along the way?
Sure. Well, we started in about last February when we saw the information coming in from PCA North Carolina. We then worked with a consultant called 705 Marketing, and that consultant really helped us develop this timeline. We then created a survey that went out to all of our constituents across the state, including what we call our fiscal sponsors, people that our contracts are with, as well as, most importantly, our local councils to make sure understanding how this would affect them. We then pulled this focus group together, and they really took that information and guided the process. So I'm going to say about 9 months is what it took. And then, of course, the last few months is really just some of those behind the scenes things after the focus group approved the logo, was then behind the scenes working to make sure that our local councils had all the tools that they needed to do this rebrand with us. So.
Well, it sounded like the process was really smooth and,
Yes.
and seamless. So
really, no objections. There were
That's
some, I would say some were a little bit worried. How will this affect our supporters, our financial donors? Are they going to think differently about the mission? But what we continue to try and provide comfort is that our mission has not changed. We still want to prevent child abuse and neglect before it occurs. And I love the fact this morning, Julie, your executive director, highlighted we want to get to families before they're in crisis, before they feel the overwhelm. So it still is very much in alignment of the work that we're doing, the spirit of the work that we're doing, but it now just focuses on the natural strengths families have. And if we come alongside them, that they won't ever have to experience that child abuse and neglect.
Well, that's a beautiful vision, and it definitely aligns with Child Advocacy Services mission. So we just continue. We enjoy partnering with you, and would love to continue that as we go
Yes.
through this rebranding process. So, how do you expect the rebranding to affect the communities you serve in Georgia?
My hope is that more people will see themselves in the movement. We all have gifts to give, whether it's your time, the incredible volunteers that you have doing CASA, but also here today at this event. But looking at your local councils, looking at those family support specialists that are walking alongside families that are struggling. And sometimes that cycle of struggle is that your car breaks down, you know, or
Yes.
your washer and dryer break down, and all of a sudden this ripple effect and this snowball effect. So our hope is that they can see themselves creating positive childhood experiences, that they can see themselves coming alongside a family, whether that's being available to help babysit those new parents or those single parents, or it's I'm good at math and I can possibly help tutor your children,
Right.
or when they come in a moment and all of a sudden your caretaker that you rely upon so you can get to work to do the evening shift, that somebody will step up and say, hey, I can help with that. And so that way we don't have that snowball effect and we're able to prevent them from coming to the attention of DFACs, because we can all be that hope and that glimmering light for families.
Yes. And the more you talk, the more I'm just engulfed with it. It's just such a beautiful organization because we need that support. We can always see what's going wrong and where
Yes.
people could do better. But then to come to say, okay, no, we're not just going to point out the bad. We're actually going to help where we
That's
can,
right. That's
and
right.
each person can find a space where they could help
I
at some
agree
point.
with you. And I think if we all reflect back on our own childhood, there were people that came alongside your parents, there were people that came alongside your grandparents. Nobody parents alone. We need that village. We need to know that we can lean on people at all times, whether good times or bad times. Then how do we pay it forward? So it really opens the door for people to see themselves in the work of helping families be successful. And that's why I love the new tagline too: strong families, bright future.
I
Because
love
truly, if
that.
they're strong, if they've got what they need to be successful when they need it, then their children are going to have a really bright future.
Yeah, that's what we want. That is definitely what we all want. So, your message to families, community members, and the general public as you unveil this new chapter for the organization is.
I'm going to say, pay it forward, step up, look to your local areas. There's many nonprofits similar to Positive Childhood Alliance Okichi that are doing this work. And just where can I be of help? Sometimes that's where you're looking at the different community services in the area and where can you plug in those talents to be of help. And if you don't know, reach out to the friends at PCA Okichi and they're going to let you know exactly what you can do to be of help. And I'll say it: if you don't have the time, if you don't have necessary, maybe you don't have in kind support, financial support can help fuel the work that they're doing, the incredible programs that they have. And every dollar, I want to say $1 invested is a $4 return. And not that we want to get into the science of all of that,
Right.
but for some people, that's really important to know that their work, that their financial support is really making a heart difference in the families that PCO Beachy serves.
Well, thank you so much, Miss Jennifer Stein, for joining us today and giving us this information on the new rebranding. Like I said, we enjoy having you and hope that you can come and see us again.
Absolutely. You guys are doing phenomenal work. And thank you for spreading and being ambassadors of this movement. We appreciate you, Ida. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.